Hello there and welcome once again to the Mayor's Magazine. I'm Mick Cornett, the Mayor of Oklahoma City, and this is our show for December 2014. Glad you're with us. Can you believe it is December and of course time to start making your New Year's Eve plans. And if you live in Oklahoma City, you know that that's when you get ready for opening night. And so here in our first segment, we're going to meet and entertain Tony, Lacey, and Crystal Herrera. Great, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
And these are citizen volunteer sorts of, and you have to get out and help organize the grandest of parties that Oklahoma City throws in a single year. So let's hear a little bit about you guys first before we get to your roles. Crystal, tell us a little bit about your life.
Well, I represent the Arts Council. I serve on their board right now, and when they handpicked Tony and I, it was an honor, so we couldn't say no, other than them taking our families hostage and all that good stuff. This is my first year doing it. I'm very excited. I cannot wait. I moved here about 5.5 years ago, and I love the city. I love watching it grow.
And your day job?
My day job right now, I'm a full-time college student. I'm concentrating on finishing up some degrees and trying to go down a different path.
All right. And Tony, what's your story?
I started volunteering for the Arts Council over a decade ago, but I can remember my first opening night was in 1987, which was the very beginning of all this. So it was really a big thing when they called me up and they said, would you be the co-chairman for opening night this year? I've done the co-chairman for Storytelling Festival 2 years ago, so I knew what to expect with the call. I just didn't know how much work it was going to take. Because it's a large operation with 400 volunteers. We just bring everybody together and we try to throw, I should say, the Arts Council of Oklahoma City tries to throw the biggest party of all the year.
Well, in a broad sense, downtown Oklahoma City is the venue, and then several well-known locations are kind of selected, and typically musical acts, but entertainment acts in general. So let's just start going through some of the numbers. Crystal, you're expecting a crowd of 50,000 downtown?
Well, last year we had a turnout of 75,000, and that was in the Marriott Gardens. So this year with Tony and I as co-chairs, we're hoping to get that much higher. So, and we've got so many new things going on. We've got the new venue location. We have some new artists, and Arts Council of Oklahoma City is going to debut their new logo that night at midnight. So it's very interesting. It's top secret. Can't tell any more about it, but we hope that strums up some more business and gets more people from the community down there to join us and beat last year's co-chairs numbers of 75,000.
And Tony, if you could just kind of ring out some of the different venues that we use downtown.
Well, all of downtown is open for the party. And now keep in mind, there's going to be lots of people for the Thunder game, for the Barons game. So if you take those 20, 30,000 people, add them to the people that we have, we should be able to top all the numbers. When you said the new venue just a minute ago, last year and the year before, we were over in the Marriott Gardens. The ball rose right in front of the Devon Tower. Well, this year it's going to be at the Bicentennial Park, which is the new park in front of the Civic Center between the municipal building and the Civic Center. The stage for finale will be directly in front of the Civic Center, looking towards the east. The parking garage at Sheridan and Walker will be the launching pad for our 3-inch fireworks that's going to go off at midnight. So it should be a really big celebration there. And we'll move eastward from the Civic Center, 2 venues in the City Hall, 2 venues in the Arts Museum, and then another venue in the library. And then east of that, in First National Building, the Cottrell Tower, and just south of that, there's about 5 different venues in the Cox Center.
Wow. Okay, some of the acts. Let's see, Ambassador's Choir, Colin Clark, David Brewster and the Storyville Scoundrels, David Thomas, Dust Bowl Gypsies, Edgar Cruz, Honey, Kyle Dillingham and Horseshoe Road, Michael King, Miss Brown to You, Mrs. Bricktown, Nick Knows.
That's a new wave kind of rock band.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe it.
OKC Improv, Oklahoma Youth Orchestra, Rock and Strings, Paseo Streetwalkers, Salsa Shakers Band, Short Dog, Society of Strings, and the Flying Okie. That's a wide range of musical targets. So really everything from rock to country to hip hop to Yeah, I assume it goes across the genres.
It does.
And we also have 3 representatives of the drum corps that will start at various venues right before midnight, and they're going to start playing, and they're going to lead our community
Party goers.
to the finale area so that we can start the countdown, let all the lights from the buildings go down, the fire truck lights will go up. It's going to be amazing.
So where should people get tickets?
Okay. The metro area 7-Elevens, metro area Homeland, Mid-First Banks, where else?
Science Museum of Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then they can purchase them in advance for $8. The night of the venue, they can purchase them at the Cox Center for $10.
Okay.
And there'll also be a place in the Bicentennial area where you should be able to buy wristbands and party favors.
Cool. And what time should people show up?
Depends on what you want to do first.
Okay.
We have a 5K run that's going to start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to start right over here at the Civic Center. And when that's over, then there'll be sort of a break before the festivities start at 7 o'clock. The venues will open with music ready to fire up at 7 o'clock, and it's going to run right up until 11:30 when all the music venues shut down. And we, as she said, we have our band, our drum corps, bring everybody to the big party over at the Bicentennial Park.
And so if come down and make a night of it, if we would encourage people to go to the Thunder game or the Barons game, but if not, to be out as early as 7 o'clock, but make sure they stick around till midnight. One other thing I want to impress upon people is, when you think of a New Year's Eve party, you think, well, I don't want my kids anywhere around that, or this sounds like some sort of drunken brawl. I want to make sure I leave at 8.
Yeah.
Ease people's minds about the family-friendly atmosphere that you guys have helped create.
Well, since 1987 that this was first created, it's a non-alcoholic, family-oriented, alternative New Year's Eve celebration, and it remains that way, and it stays safe too. It's a very safe event thanks to our Oklahoma City Police Department and the Fire Department and all those brave men and women. So it might seem late, and if you have young ones and you're worried about them screaming and crying, bring them anyway. We've got clowns, we've got jugglers, we've got musicians, and we've got everything to entertain all people.
Now, to a lot of people that will watch this show that might live 10 or 15 miles from the downtown core, one of the first things they're going to think about is, I don't know where to park. There won't be any place for me to park. Ease their mind on the ease of finding some place to park for this event.
Well, the city has and Project 180 going on. If you can get on the Project 180 website, it'll show you all the different parking venues around downtown. The central area where the party's going to occur, there will be some street closures, but between all the areas around, and I think downtown Oklahoma City is a really safe area, and I have no problem with bringing my kids down here and being out at midnight. So it's just a matter of looking it up, feel safe about it. If you're trying to get here for 7 o'clock, get here a little bit early. But when it's all said and done, there's going to be a lot of people downtown, and you'll probably feel good about it because of just all that warmth and all those happy people. If that didn't make you happy, then you just need to find a better Santa Claus.
Well, and because there's so many people work downtown, there is parking spaces for all those people. Well, of course, on a New Year's Eve, those people aren't going to be parking for work, and all of those parking spaces are going to be available. I'm not saying that it won't be crowded, but there's a lot of parking for a nighttime event in downtown Oklahoma City. So please don't let that discourage you from coming down and being a part of it. And so I think our takeaways are, buy your ticket in advance if you can for $8. If you just procrastinate and don't let that stop you, but come on down and bring the kids and give them a nap, because they're going to want to be here at midnight when the ball goes up in the Bicentennial Park between City Hall and the Civic Center Music Hall.
And we like to say this is not a fundraiser for the Arts Council. I mean, we lose money, we don't make money, but it's our way of giving something back to the city. It's our party to you. I mean, they support us through the Arts Council, through the Festival of the Arts and the Storytelling Festival and all the downtown moves that we have going on. This is the end of the year. Come down and have a party with us.
Tony Lacey, Crystal Herrera, our volunteer co-chairs for opening night. Thank you so much for volunteering so much time to put this event on.
Thank you.
I appreciate everyone coming out. It's New Year's Eve, and these two are in charge of the weather, but I'm sure it's going to be just beautiful to be out in downtown Oklahoma City. We'll have more on the Mayor's Magazine right after this.
I enrich our cultural landscape.
I help define our quality of life.
I am one of 4,000 artists in central Oklahoma who receive
support from Allied Arts, this community's united arts organization.
I am an Allied artist.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. A city is only as strong as its neighborhoods. And in this segment, we're going to learn more about neighborhoods in general, but specifically some of the neighborhoods on the near south part of the metro area. And Georgie Rasco and Anna Herrera are here to kind of give us more information on a new effort. Georgie, you've been on the show several times before, but welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's always good to see you.
And Anna, you have a kind of a new area of concentration that you're going to be spending time about. And the term community organizer is appropriate because you're trying to get in there and try to remind people of the strengths and the benefits of a strong neighborhood organization and how there's also many great attributes that follow if you can get a cohesive unit going. But I think before we do that, we probably ought to let Georgie talk about Neighborhood Alliance in a broader sense, and then we'll zero in on what Anna's working on. So
I would
Georgie,
love to.
Give an opportunity to sell your organization for us.
I am so proud of this organization. It's 38 years old, but we're doing some fabulous things. We're the #1 cheerleader of the city of Oklahoma City. We want neighborhoods and individuals in the city to realize that there are answers to their problems. If they have graffiti problems, crime problems, apathy problems, poorly decorated or ugly neighborhoods, the city is there to help them. There are other nonprofits in the city that are there to help them, and Neighborhood Alliance is sort of the clearinghouse of all of that. So whatever your neighborhood is at this point, if you want it to be better, you can make it better. No one else can but you. But give us a call and we can absolutely give you the tools to help you get it there.
So regardless of where you live, if your neighborhood is not what you hope it to be, in other words, if it's organized but meets only occasionally and seems loosely tied together, you can kind of give some of the tools to help strengthen it.
Yeah,
and if there's absolutely no organization going on, you can give them the tools to kind of get started there too.
We can start with you at whatever level, whether it's you just want to get to know the people on your block and start improving the lives and the sociability of the people that live on your block, or you want to create a brand new neighborhood where there's never been one, or you just want to revive one that's kind of fallen off the face of the earth a little bit. Call us on any level of that. We can certainly help you at whatever level you want. It doesn't have to be a huge, big, incorporated with bylaws business that seems overwhelming. If that is overwhelming for you, then we have a lot of other alternative methods that we can use to just help you get to know your neighborhood and improve your neighborhood.
Well, and one of the benefits, I think, is that, you know, God forbid there ever is a negative issue that kind of is encroaching on the neighborhood. It's a lot easier to address it if you have a strong neighborhood cohesive unit, as opposed to trying in some sort of reactionary effort, trying to put everybody together to stop something. It's a much more proactive way to get everybody organized, and it's more enjoyable to know your neighbors, and it'll be a safer community.
Right. Our #1 crime prevention tool, regardless of what neighborhood you live in, is sociability. Studies have proven it over and over that the more social your neighborhood is, the more neighbors that you know in your neighborhood, then the less crime you're going to have, because you're more accountable. You know the ins and outs, you know the norms of people around you, and if you see something suspicious in those kinds of neighborhoods, you immediately pick up the phone and call police. And that is the key to having a safer neighborhood.
Over the last 15 years, we've seen enormous growth in some of the south parts of Oklahoma City, near south. And we haven't seen as many neighborhoods organized in that area as we'd like to see. And so you have specifically tasked Anna Herrera with that role. So Anna, I'll let you describe it better than I. What is your role at Neighborhood Alliance? What are you trying to help accomplish?
Well, first of all, we're really thankful to the City of Oklahoma City, to you, Mayor, and the council members, because this position is funded through the city and is their vision to try to get South Oklahoma City to be an even better place to live and work, that this is coming onto place. So my purpose and my goals in South Oklahoma City, like Georgie mentioned before, is to get more neighborhood organized, getting civic engagement, getting people interested, for them to know what their benefits are. What they, if they put their effort, they will see the benefits within their neighborhoods. Working maybe with the schools and through focus groups that we've done so far with my position, we have gotten people commented that maybe getting involved with the schools is something that we should look into. So getting people involved and getting them to see the benefits is one of the things that will help us get more neighborhoods organized in South Oklahoma City.
I just recently drove through Capitol Hill. I think I was going down 25th Street. I want to say amazed, but I was impressed with the vitality that you just feel driving down the street. Mm-hmm. There aren't boarded up businesses. If there's a building, there's an active business going on in there. So people are being employed. People are working. There's a great economy going on. But this has to translate into more solid neighborhoods, and that's where you come in. We want this to be a place not only where people go to recreate, but where they live and where they call home.
Yes, for them to be able to walk down the street, know that they're safe, and know that they're working towards a goal. We have great neighborhoods in South Oklahoma City. We have College Hill, who's been active for many years, and if you drive around that area around Mount St. Mary, you can see the change, how beautiful it looks. And that's how it should be in every neighborhood in South Oklahoma City.
One of the top schools in the city, Mount St. Mary's, absolutely. Okay, so how will we measure success, Anna? How will you know if 5 years from now we look back and say, it's better because we did what? How are you going to measure success in this role?
I believe that there are different factors that will help us measure that, and I think Georgie will be better to explain.
I'd be glad to, because measuring success in a neighborhood is a tough issue. We're kind of in conversations with the city right now because it is one of City Council's priorities for the next fiscal year to improve and have thriving neighborhoods. So how do you know that is? It's not necessarily people filling seats at a neighborhood meeting. There's way more than that to what a successful neighborhood is. But we do feel like it is how many people can we get to go through our leadership programs that have the skills now to develop and create some grassroots style neighborhoods or grassroots style programs on their city? How many people can we get in the South Side to be and apply for boards and commissions at the City of Oklahoma City? How many can we get that will be part of their PTA? Or how many will show up at a litter bits program? Those kinds of things are going to be primarily kind of the focus for us. And the offshoot of that is the number of neighborhood associations then that those leaders that we help create can then help create on their own in the South Side.
Well, it sounds like a great task, and you guys are so energetic about it, and obviously if anybody at City Hall can help you, please let us know how we can get more and more involved. If people want to get involved in Neighborhood Alliance and specifically this program, what should they do, Georgie?
We have a fabulous website that has some wonderful activities and programs on it already. So go to our website, which is NACOK.org, which stands for Neighborhood Alliance of Central Oklahoma.org, or just pick up the phone and call us. We're a small staff, but we've got 7 people now, which grew from the one that was just me 10 years ago. But we've got wonderful people there on the other end willing to help you at whatever level you need.
All right.
Yes, and besides just calling or checking our website, we do have trainings on a monthly basis, so they can go online, get the resources, or sign up for the classes. We're here to help.
Absolutely.
Right. That's great. Georgie Resco and Anna Herrera, thank you very much for what you're doing, and hope this show helps initiate even greater response to the great efforts y'all are already doing.
I'm sure it will.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. We'll be back with more on the Mayor's Magazine after this.
The median's been mowed, the leaves are raked, and the flowers are planted. The beautification efforts of neighborhood volunteers really make a difference. Unfortunately, there's still something out there cluttering neighborhood street corners. It's illegally placed signs. But now residents fed up with signs and placards littering poles, the grounds and everywhere in between in their neighborhood can sign up to become a sign sweep volunteer. Sign sweep volunteers must be at least 18 years old, an Oklahoma City resident, and a member of a participating neighborhood association. The city will train neighborhood sign sweep volunteers to identify illegally placed signs and empower them to remove and dispose of them.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. In this episode, or in this segment of this episode, we're going to talk with Shannon Entz. She's a senior planner in the Oklahoma City Planning Department. She's going to talk about a new initiative that is using some federal funds to, again, address some of the neighborhood issues in the near north side of Oklahoma City. And so, Shannon, welcome to the Mayor's Magazine.
Thank you very much.
In the last segment, we met with Herrera, who's kind of been charged with trying to do some neighborhood coordination in the south side. On the north side, we have some federal monies that we're trying to use to just try to improve the infrastructure and address some of the decay that has taken place in some of these what I'll call first ring neighborhoods around Oklahoma City. So give us the overview. What is this program about?
Okay. It's called the Strong Neighborhoods Initiative, and we do work closely with the Neighborhood Alliance of Oklahoma City to develop neighborhood engagement tools, to empower those residents, to engage them into different projects throughout their neighborhoods. And what it's about basically is the city investing some of our federal dollars and turning those neighborhoods past their tipping point of greatness. All three neighborhoods, they are not by far the worst neighborhoods in Oklahoma City. They are fantastic neighborhoods, but they all have economic development areas of decline. They've seen disinvestment over the years. There are vacant lots and vacant properties throughout all three Strong Neighborhoods Initiative areas. And then we've also seen commercial development that has declined over the years. We've also seen the schools, some have closed. So we're trying our best to address all of those issues into one program, which is quite a task, but it's definitely worthwhile and it's working.
Yeah, and so you'll have some seed money. How will you invest that? And are you looking for public-private partnerships to try and expand the dollars?
All the time. And we do have great private partners. We also have nonprofit partners who've really taken the helm, such as Positively Paseo, who's traditionally worked around the Paseo areas. People are pretty familiar with them. But then we've also had them now develop homes in Class and Tenpin area around the Plaza District. They're about to break ground pretty soon in the Class North Highland Park neighborhood. And then we also have some nonprofits who are looking, such as Neighborhood Housing Services, who are looking to build homes in Culberson's East Highlands. So we have nonprofit partners coming in, and we also have private partners who've come in to help invest in the schools, which is a big part of what SNI is working on right now, because we know that the children in the schools are kind of the base for each of these three neighborhoods. And so we have a lot of people involved right now. We have a lot of people who are interested in being involved. Our first steps have been kind of create those visible projects that make a difference in the neighborhood to get some excitement and get some interest in the program.
And you have several things here that you're going to be working on. I'll just read them off so people get a better understanding officially. You want to improve the quality of life, trying to help engage neighborhood groups, children and their parents, decrease some of the turnover that typically takes place in some of these struggling neighborhoods at the neighborhood level and the schools. You want to improve the property values and help stabilize the market, decrease the perception of crime, reduce the number of vacant properties, greater connectivity to jobs, education, and services, and increase home ownership and private investment. Other cities around the country, face these same sort of issues. Yeah. What type of best practices are out there? I mean, are there other cities that have taken a similar direction that you're undertaking, and can we learn anything from what other cities have experienced?
We can learn a lot from other cities. The U.S. and Oklahoma are pretty young. We're a pretty young country and a pretty young state, but we can grab best practices from around the country, and we've done that. And that is really kind of the start of this program, was looking at kind of our old ways of community development and revitalization and kind of seeing what worked and what didn't work, and then finding those best practices that do tend to work in cities about our size and with our similar demographics and workforce to see what would best work here. And so our previous city planner, Russell Klaus, and now our new planning director, Aubrey Hammontree, have all agreed that this is the right direction. We need to take a more holistic approach to community development and neighborhood revitalization, and we are doing that now. So, the biggest part of this right now is housing. Everyone will tell you that affordable housing, affordable workforce housing, and safe housing, whether it be owner-occupied or rental, are some of our biggest issues in Oklahoma City. And these three neighborhoods are definitely seeing that. And so we've taken best practices from across the country to help us learn how to develop good, affordable, safe housing in Oklahoma City that's attractive to the people who want to live here. And one of the greatest things is that all three neighborhoods are close to downtown. And so when we talk about all this connectivity and walkability and livability, all these three neighborhoods are on a grid system in terms of streets, and they all contribute to that walkability and connectivity. So families, these three neighborhoods are great places to be because they're so close to great schools, to downtown, to entertainment, to employment centers, and transit. So these three neighborhoods, I think, will see a lot of progress in the next 5,
so a
6
lot of
years.
those necessary building blocks for a turnaround are in place. If we
Absolutely.
can just provide a little bit of a kickstart to some of the infrastructure.
Absolutely.
One of the things on here, it says you'll be helping with sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to take place?
We've already started. We've completed about 14 blocks of sidewalks. So we have several that already have been installed in Class and 10 pin. I think we have about 7 blocks there from Park Place up to 16th to connect to the Plaza District. And we also added some parking to McKinley Park, which is a fabulous park, one of the best assets in Class and 10 pin. Mm-hmm. We've had about 6 blocks of sidewalks installed along 13th Street and Northeast 13th from Lottie to Kellum in Culbertson East Highland. And right now underway, if it's not too cold, is probably about 15 to 16 blocks of sidewalks just in Class and North Highland Park alone. We have every street on every, in the entire neighborhood on both sides of the street are getting new sidewalks.
And is there a police angle to this issue? Is the police department working with you? Because neighborhood safety and the perception of crime is so important to the end result.
Well, I think as Neighborhood Alliance alluded to, the biggest prevention of crime is sociability. It is talking with one another, keeping your lights on at your homes every night. There's definitely sort of a connection, obviously a connection with the police department, and we're working with them to kind of learn ourselves what would be the best way to communicate with the residents, how to report crimes, what to report, which is everything in our opinion, and also having things like the Action Center, which isn't necessarily police, but it's definitely the Action Center app and the phone number. We encourage people to call that because generally, if there's a code enforcement problem, there's probably a crime problem and vice versa.
Right.
So we want people to be engaged and educated on who to contact for what.
And in a sense, this is a new program, but in other sense, it's really just a continuation. When you go back and you look at it, if MAPS was an initial capital investment in the inner city just to kind of kickstart the turnaround on the urban core. And then MAPS for Kids was an investment in 75 inner city neighborhoods. A lot of these neighborhoods hadn't had much new development in a long, long time, and these neighborhoods are directly benefiting from MAPS for Kids. And then you see Project 180 and MAPS 3 with its sidewalk program and the trail system. These things don't turn around quickly. But I would expect that well, in fact, I know it just from driving through these neighborhoods. There's already some success stories that have taken place just on the previous efforts. And what we're trying to do now is go back in and not let up. Don't let up on this because we've got some momentum, some positive momentum.
Yeah, if I could add to that, I mean, I don't think we'd be talking about this if it wasn't for MAPS. I really don't. I think the renaissance has been incredible. I still get chills when I even mention it because I do think that that was the beginning for Oklahoma City's turnaround in so many areas, and I don't think anyone would argue with that. And right now, Oklahoma City is a place to be. A lot of the people who are buying homes in all 3 of my neighborhoods are millennials, are families, are people that want to live close to downtown. They want to be near these great new schools. They want to have all the fun that all these families want to enjoy. They want to feel safe. They want to make safe investments in our community. And so we're seeing a lot of small businesses. We're seeing a lot of great energy right now and support for S&I and for Oklahoma City in general. And I personally, my family and I moved from Edmond to Oklahoma City. We only lived there for a couple of years, but we came back because we want to be downtown. And we wanted our daughters to go to school here and be part of this and bike to school and bike to work and all that. And we just want to be part of this energy. And so this is a great place to be. And the word's out. We just need to make sure that we're making the proper investments from the city's perspective with our federal funds and with city funds to make sure that people stay, that we put the infrastructure in that they want and they need, and that includes our schools, which we're also working on with after-school programs, and you were part of the STEAM program over the summer, the little celebration that we had. That's another initiative that S&I is working with right now is really integrating that program with these Oklahoma City Public Schools, and so far they've been fantastic to work with.
If somebody wants to contact you, how do they get a hold of you?
They can call me at 297-2911. They can also email me at shannon.entz@okc.gov.
Okay, and we'll put that on the screen to make it easier for people to navigate through, and you can answer their questions and also perhaps develop some sort of partnership with them and their neighbors and make this initiative really go a long, long ways. Well, we're indebted to these federal dollars, and we want to make sure they're spent wisely, and I know you'll be on top of that. Shannon, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Shannon Entz is a senior planner in the Oklahoma City Planning Department, and that's going to do it for this month's show of the Mayor's Magazine. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next month in 2015. Talk to you then.